Do we have sound? Do we have sound? I have no stream on my end. This is really fun. I'm loving YouTube right now. I still have no stream. I have no feed. Do we have sound? Haha, we have sound. Oh, it's really quiet though. All right. So let me get everything set up. And we'll be good to go. It will be absolutely golden. So, take two on this. So I found these like corner protectors that I have for framing projects. And so my plan is to use them as business card slots so that I can slide in the business cards that I keep, because I don't keep all the business cards, but I do like to be able to keep business cards of like the places that I'm going to buy from again. So I want to slide them in like an intelligent way, but I think I also want to add color behind them, because I think if I just put them on a blank page, it's going to be really boring. Yes, I have no idea why we didn't have sound the first time. Literally, all I did was close the YouTube app and reopen it, and we have sound. So, don't know what's going on with YouTube, but that's fun. So, what we're going to start with, though, is this really the green I want framed up behind these cards? It's not awful. So far I only have 2 this year, but it's not awful. My thought is to do 1, 2, 3 for business cards. Okay, when something like that happens, I need people to leave a comment and just like say something. Because from my end, like I always check the mics are working ahead of time. But I have noticed YouTube. So they're like these little self-adhesive corner holders. I've got an actual business card holder in my other travelers, my inky one, but these are like corner tabs because really the only time I need them is during the gardening season and when I reference this book, which is the previous season when we're shopping again. So I want to dedicate some pages. My thought though is let's go to section number 2. No, at like YouTube and Apple aren't playing nice since iOS 16. And so even if I check my mics ahead of time, sometimes they just don't work. And that has me slowly losing my mind, but I will survive. So this is Sarah Magno. So we're going to put some colors down on this page. It's going to get all pretty. And then we're going to put down some, whatever they're called. Words are hard. So we're going to start with colors, and then we're going to sketch. That's what we're going to do. It has been a very hard and long week, and it's still sort of kicking my ass. But I wanted to go into this next week feeling quasi-productive. So this is what we're doing. So we have our business cards, which we're not dealing with yet. On the other hand, do need a little plastic bag, which is why I keep all the bags from nibs. Like this is a Monteverde nib bag from number 6 Yovo, something or other. But I keep them all because I end up using them, either to send stuff to friends, like ink samples and stuff, or like just to bag up the sample vial so it doesn't leak, or in stuff like this. They always get used. So we are going to glue up this green. I haven't put it in a pen yet, though I have really been enjoying. I have Moss Part Green in a Sailor right now, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm not going to overthink this because I can't remember how it's down on a different page, like the one we've done previously. And then we splatter a whole bunch of ink, and so that sort of tells us what we're doing. Piece of paper to stick in here. All right. I need to figure out a pen to put this ink into. It's hard with green inks, I find. Mostly because I don't use them all that often. I struggle to figure out like the right pen for them. It's weird. Like they can't go in everything. Green inks are picky. Like if you put a green ink in a purple pen, it just looks weird. In my opinion. Because I do know I have friends that aren't big matchy-matchy people. But I really struggle to have a green ink in a purple pen. See, the thing is, I love green inks. I just have so few pens that green inks can go into, I find. Like, I've got so many purple pens and pink pens, and I just don't feel like green inks are always the right choice for those pens. I'm being less careful about page protecting than I was last year, but I am going to like make an attempt. To just like keep it under control, sort of. Maybe. We'll see. I don't actually mind that. I think we'll do like 1 or 2 seed packets up here and like 3 down here. I would like something bigger in there and something bigger in there. There we go. So that'll be dry in the next 2 or 3 minutes. I need more scrap paper than I have. I'm going to put this away. And so now I have 4 greens left to do. Though I think part of me wants to leave all the greens out and do like a mix on the business card page. Do a mix of all the fun stuff. So I'm not going to actually put anything away. It's just going to join the pile on the floor. And I'm thinking for this page, doing different types of like lettuces and greens. Which probably sounds really boring. But I don't know. I like it in theory. Like, look at all the fun different lettuces. And I think it would look really cool on this page. So I think that's what we're going to do. I'm really struggling to not dry this page with a heat gun. I really want to. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to move this, let it dry off to the side, and I'm gonna do a layout. I don't know if we do the torn packet, or do we do a full packet? All right, go vote. Torn or full packet sketch? Cause like, do I even have a full packet of West Coast seeds anymore? That's a good question. I might have to just. Oh, I do. Maybe. What's in here? See, when we talk about mystery bags of seeds, I really do mean mystery bags of seeds. So that's a full packet. And that's like a torn packet. I like them both. I don't know which one I like more. So, vote. Share your opinion. But my thought is to actually do this up because it's tall. Maybe. No, not horizontal. I could just put one horizontal for the fun of it. Do my sketch sideways. And then you've got the green in the middle. I don't know what I want to do. This is always the hardest part of our project because, like, also, I don't like Swiss chard. We have 4 varieties because Mom likes Swiss chard, but I don't actually like Swiss chard. And so I don't want to put Swiss chard on this. But do I really need all of the varieties of spinach and lettuce going on this thing? Or do we want to do 2 torn packets because we also have part of a Mackenzie salad bowl packet from last year? Do we have other lettuce? Shit, I feel like I'm missing some of this lettuce. I don't like Swiss chard. I think it tastes weird. Honestly, I can't tell you what it tastes like because I just think it tastes weird. Lettuce, 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 lettuce. Dark spinach. Spanish onions. Nope, those are actually our varieties this year. Cool. Torn does have some character to it. And I feel like if we're doing 1 torn, maybe we just do 2 torn. I'm happy to see that the number of seeds hasn't gone down in the past year. We still get 340 seeds in those packets, which is nice. Do they cost the same? Oh, I don't have the cost from last year because the top of it's gone. I really should write down the amount we pay for seed packets, but I honestly don't think I'd like to see the increase over time. So, I think I agree. Torn has character, and I like the character. And we are almost dry. We're so close to being dry, and if I wasn't worried that muting my mic to dry this page would curse me to not have volume for the rest of this stream, I would, but I'm afraid that if I mute the mic, I will lose all volume and never get it back. So, I'm not going to mute it. I'm just going to be very careful. I think we're just actually going to we're just going to be creative in placing things. I need a pencil. Pencil case, and I bet you it's at the very bottom. It is. Shows you how much I've used pencils this week versus pens. It's been a very pen-heavy week. It's been a very non-fountain pen-heavy week, unfortunately. Though my Sailor hydrangea has been getting a lot of use. I did almost die when I saw what it was reselling for. I saw it for sale this week for $500 Canadian used, and I went, oh, that hurts. Because I think mine was 2 something US last year. So that price increase, the fact that people are reselling Sailors for what they cost post price increase, hurts a little bit. All right, let's. I don't know that we're gonna fit 5 varieties of lettuce on this page, but we're gonna see. We're gonna find out. I do have a love-hate relationship with this Pentel pencil, because if the lead is further than a little bit out, it throws a temper tantrum. Yeah, it hurt a little bit. How do we feel about an upside down packet? No, I don't like that. Yeah, it was a big jump. Like, to be fair, it was already a big jump. We already knew the jump was big. The jump has been painful, but seeing it on used pens, realizing that now, like, people are listing used pens for what they are selling for new, I'm like, okay, this is now a very, very expensive pen. And in my head, it's still not as expensive as it's selling for. And I think that's just because in my head, it's, still an everyday pen. But that is no longer the case. I genuinely don't think I will ever be able to buy another Sailor at retail, because what I paid for mine is never going to exist on the market again. How big are these seed packets? I don't think I left myself enough space. Oh no, they're small. That's so detailed. How did I do them that detailed? I have found there is no making money in this hobby. Most of us don't make money in this hobby. The ones that do, there are a rare few that do. But for the most part, most of us don't. And I think for the most part, most of us just enjoy the hobby. We might not fit all of them. We're only gonna fit 2 down here. I paid $99 for my first PGS. US. I paid $99 US, and at that point the US Canadian exchange rate meant that I paid, I think it was about 125 Canadian for that pen. And that felt like so much money, because I think that was the first pen I ever spent more than $100 on. And I don't think that's ever going to happen again. But I remember leaving Chicago after that event and feeling so uncomfortable because of how much I'd spent on a pen. Like, I'd gone to the Chicago Pen Show and not bought a pen that I think was more than like $30. And now I look at a $30 pen and I go, oh, you're so reasonably priced. And 3 years ago, that was so much money to spend on a pen. It's just everything, I feel like, in the industry has changed so much. I feel like this packet needs to be longer. So we're gonna go back in and do like the wavy tops. I just want to do it right off the bat. One. Two. Nope, that's too big. I think you're only too big by one square though. Sure. And then we're gonna throw in the last packet up here. There we go. That seems reasonable. So I'm going to make this one slightly longer. I feel like we're a bit too short for this Mackenzie seed packet. And then we're going to go back in with our black. And we're just going to sketch these all out. Which is truly the best part of this process, is that it's really hard to screw up, because really, you're just getting to play with black ink. Oh, I can't go in yet. I have to do the tops. So, how much this packet do I lose? Very little. I feel like I lose more of the West Coast Seeds one. I found one of you. I did. Do I put? I think I put the West Coast Seeds in the middle. Which honestly, you've sort of already lost your height here. Hello, welcome. The sound's a bit screwed up tonight, but we're just sort of dealing with it. I don't quite know what's going on with my labs. Let's see. Next week issue, I guess tomorrow. Tomorrow's officially next week. Don't really want to think about that. Is too far out for this eraser. Don't really want to think about the fact that tomorrow's officially the beginning of a new week. Or today, depending on what calendar you use. We were always a Monday start calendar household, so I'm pro a Monday beginning your week. And getting to spend Sunday setting your week up for success. Alright, there we go. There we go. Let's get rid of these. We are going to sketch the three. It's not that late here yet. It's only 8:30, so normally I'd be watching the Oscars, but I sort of felt like I needed to do something with my hands and just like put my brain back together. And I also need to look at this last one we did. Okay, so my black lines didn't go into the green, but I did lettering over the green. Cool. I don't know that I'm gonna make anything as good as this, and that's really hard because these, like this one is so good. Oh, there is a sense of accomplishment in something that has no meaning. Like honestly, the only page in this that truly matters is this. What did we order? Where did we order it from? I haven't seen any of the films either. I'm not a huge movie person post-cancer, and well, normally I would like at least guess and fill out an Oscars ballot just for the fun of it. I didn't really feel like it this year, and so I decided that I'd rather do something creative with my hands instead. This line's gonna come through to about there, and that way I sort of feel good going into this week. Because also we're like well and truly into maple syrup season and working on figuring out where fruit trees are going, and it's just busy, and so my time to like sit down and be creative these days is limited. It's almost all in the evenings right now, and I just want to sit down and be creative. Because it's fun. There's a joy in getting to sit down and do stuff that's creative. Also, I love these pens. These are my favorite pens in the world. And I am yet to find a fountain pen that I love for sketching like this as much as I love these pens. And that's really hard because I wish I could. And I've tried a lot. But there's something about the Pigment Liner 005 from Staedtler that is unmatched when you want to do like loose sketching that looks creative and fun and not super structured and like pencily but not a pencil. It is probably the reason I couldn't totally switch to fountain pens. There are most of the pens I use, I could like find an alternative in the fountain pen world. But I've yet to find an ultra extra fine that runs permanent black ink well enough to make the swap, and I'm yet to find an ultra extra fine that is smooth enough to run. This is the pen. I think I want to say Atlas carries them, but I don't know that they do. Blick definitely does. And they last for 12 hours with your the cap off on your desk. So if you forget them on your desk overnight, they still write in the morning, which is not a guarantee with everything. And so I've been a big fan of them for a very long time, and I continue to be a big fan of them. They are expensive though. I think right now they're about $7 a pen. But they're worth it in my opinion. Because also they last. And my issue with microns is I found the tips on them did not last. And so they can come out with all the different like eco versions they want. But unless they can make a tip that's robust enough to last, I'm not going to buy more of them. I still have a couple kicking around my studio. But it's one of those I'm not going to buy more of you situations. And now we get to erase. I feel like this looks empty. That's the black line. like you can see, like it still very much looks like it was sketched out of pencil, which is what I love about these pens, is that you sort of don't lose like the pencil sketch look. It's just like black ink, which is what I want. I want the permanent black line that isn't going to go anywhere. But I want the pencil sketch look. And I don't think anything does that better than a 0.05 pen. The funny thing is, I should have put this one later in the book, because there are going to be some, including one coming up, that are like only 3s. And so I should have put this one like way later in the book. Because now we've had 2 5s back to back. I think. Is it 2 5s or is it a 6 and a 5? No, it's 2 5s. Alright. So we know that a spinach is going up top. Do we do spinach and 2 lettuces up top? And then lettuce and a spinach down below? I think so. I don't remember what colors I used. What colors did I use? Okay, I used you. I think I used... None of these have purple on them, because these are not fruits. They're flowers. Nope, they're not fruits. They're plants. Okay, so we're also gonna need... We're gonna go with mint, which is not our correct green. But I don't want a shimmery green, and I don't want a pearl green, and so we're gonna use mint. Where's pencil? I know all the colors for the purple version. How much too small is this? Oh, it's the same size. No, it's not. It's one smaller. Okay. So we're gonna do this 2.5. Just gonna like steal halves from a couple different places. So really, I just need these 3 to match. And this is written in green, not purple. I don't know that I've got a green pen. That's definitely not correct. All right. Let's make a bit more sense of this. clearly that eraser is not working particularly well at the moment. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. This is gonna come down another titch. Very scientific there. It's gonna come down a titch. But I promise it makes sense. Kidding me. They've also. Yep, they have. Alright. There is no similarities between this packet and the last one I sketched. Alright. This line is coming all the way through. Because there's one half circle here. There's one half circle here. There's one half circle here. And then there's a whole bunch of information written in here. Okay. I don't like this very much. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start up here at the top. And we're going to work our way down. I think. Are we? I don't know that that's necessarily true. I think we're actually going to start here. There's a certain amount of just don't breathe too hard. Because I feel like if I breathe too hard, I'm going to bump a page. And if I bump a page, we're sort of game over. Bump my hand. Over. Fingers are starting to cramp. Okay. I think that's as good as it's going to get. Okay. Not perfect, but pretty close. I would call that an acceptable. I'm gonna accept that. I don't know what I'm using for my green marker because I don't have. Last time I used a zebra sarasa in green, in purple. I don't have a zebra sarasa in purple. Do I have anything? Let me go check my office desk, but I don't think I have any green pens. What am I going to do? Do I have, and then this, random selection of brush pens. Might be able to write with you. Let's see how brush pen you really are. I don't think you're all that brush penny. Oh, I hate the color though. I think you're the wrong color. You my only option? I think you probably are. Alright. Fine. I guess we'll deal with it being the wrong color. For the sake of everything else being correct. I need to get the full set of the Zebra Sarasa vintage. So to start with, I need a bright blue. Bright blue, bright blue, bright blue. There we go. Some of these I just know off the top of my head, and so I don't even need to swatch them. Because I just know what they look like. I do need to go look, though, and see if I colored the background of the seed packet the last time I did this. Normally, I would take a photo and I'd have it up on my laptop. I did. The valid question is, what color did I use for that? I think I used gray number 1. And because I'm putting a different marker over top, I am going to let it sit for a little bit before I do anything to it, because I just want to make sure that like everything's dry. Coloring once again today, I'm using the Faber-Castell Pitt brush pen markers. By far my favorite markers. Especially for something like this where at some point it's probably going to get wet. The chances of it not getting wet at some point are slim, and so I would like to protect it as much as possible. And so I'm going to use markers that are going to protect it as much as possible by being archival and waterproof. My Apple Watch is bugging me. Does anybody else get like that? Like their watch will be fine, and then all of a sudden you're like, I cannot handle this thing touching me anymore. Like the one, so I will say the one thing I wish is that there were more than 40 colors of these pens. I'm not gonna find something close to this brand. I already know that. All the brands in this set lean 2 reds, 2 red. I wish there were more than 40 colors. There might actually be 60, but I want a full set of these like they have in Prismacolors where there's like 120 colors. I want as many colors as possible. We're gonna go with that first one. Like, give me some more colors, Faber-Castell. Just release them. Like, I'd be so happy. They are, and I have to say they last. Like, I've had so many markers over the years, and nothing has held up. Other than mild liners. My mild liners have held up well. My mild liners, some of them are going on a decade. Some of these, though, are approaching in this cup are approaching a decade as well. And I have never had other markers that have held up to that sort of decade point of use as well as these have. And they are expensive, they are an investment, but I think especially if you're buying sets that have colors in them that you like I have a friend that only bought the gray set, and I started by buying, I think I started with primaries and then I bought pastels. Like, I was buying stuff I was actually using, and I think that's, if you're going to invest in expensive markers, that is the way to do it. Just don't buy everything, but buy stuff that you're actually going to use. Because if you're buying everything, there are going to be colors you're not going to use. I'm probably never going to use some of the colors in this 40 set. I think it's a 40 set. Yeah, it is a 40 set. But for the most part, all of them get used all the time. And I always really enjoy when I do get to use them. I sort of go through periods of time though that I forget they exist. I'll be using other markers, I'll be using Tombows and stuff, and then I'll remember that they exist. And the funny thing is, they sit on my editing desk. I look at them all the time. They're probably, other than my laptop, the thing I look at the most because they're always there. And I still forget they exist. And I think it's because in my head, they were always those expensive markers that I could only use for special projects. And now I'm at a phase that I'm like, I'm just gonna use the stuff that makes me happy. All the time. And I'm just gonna enjoy it and have fun and have a good time. And so if that means I'm using really expensive markers on something that really doesn't matter, in the long run of things, does this page matter? No, but it's about the process. It's about the sitting down, the doing it, the doing something that makes your brain work, that makes your hands work, that is disconnected from, or as disconnected from social media as it can be, because, I make content on the internet. But it's about the sitting down and the doing. This is just gonna look like a green blob. Well, that got more detailed than I thought it was going to for doing it all in the same color of green. We have a little bit of texture going on. Not a lot, but a bit. And a bit something. I'm going to actually use the same color that I did for the packet for the background. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it in really tight little circles to sort of give it like a different look, hopefully. And if it doesn't, we'll go over the top with something else. I don't know what yet, but we'll do it with something. Or we could add a different color into this brown, I guess. Alright. Alright, those look like two quasi-different browns. We're going to accept that. Mostly because I don't know that I can get them any more different. The fact that there are like only 4 browns and most of them are red browns is a little bit limiting in this set. So really, I love everything about these markers except how limiting the color palette can be at times. Did I write 100% Canadian last time? No, I wrote pre-treatment. So let's grab the 0.5. I am noticing that on more seed packets this year, like things are labeling themselves if they're 100% Canadian or not, which is sort of nice as a buyer to know where your seed's coming from. There we go. Nope, we're not done yet. Oh, I thought we were done. But no. No. We are just writing cut leaf seeds. We are not doing by Northern Wildflowers because I do not have the space for that. Yeah, I was hopeful. I think if I had the 0.5 or 0.8 version of these markers, I could get a little bit more detailed. I unfortunately only have the 0.10, which is a bit big. And honestly, if I was going to get more of them, I'd get them in gray. I really like the Moonlight, but if I was going to get more of them, I'd get the gray set because they write on every paper, and I find them really handy for labeling black paper. And I find the gray clog less than the white do. Are you dry? You're sort of dry. I might regret this. You were working. You were working. Okay. I see the vision. Honestly, it's not that bad. Oh! Oh, I forgot about all my tiny writing down here. And then I drew on my Colo bag with a white gel pen. That's never coming off. That is never coming off my pen case. Are these actually frost hardy? I don't believe you. But you tell me I can plant you outside directly in March. And you're a Canadian seed company, and so maybe you are. I'm gonna have to go back online and look at you. Excellent option for spring and late summer. Well, we'll definitely be seeding some in late summer. I don't, it's coated canvas. So I don't know that I really want to use nail polish remover on it. Because it's waxed canvas. Honestly, it's just proof that I actually use it and it gets day-to-day use. So we're done one. I think I'm going to move down here just so that all my gel pen and stuff has time to dry. Because I would really hate to smudge it now in like the drying gel pen stage. I would take great insult to that. We're going to leave these 3 gel pens out because I'm going to need them again. But I think we're going to go to Mackenzie Seed next. We're going to like work our way in. We're probably going to tackle this tonight. Mostly because I want to. As I said to somebody recently, it's my dictatorship and I can do whatever I want. And so for now, that means that we're working with this way. And this is just going to be a little maple flag. Tomorrow's video is fun because it's the video that was supposed to come out Wednesday on vintage pens. And somebody this week asked me how I know what to buy when I'm buying vintage pens. And the answer is, I almost never know what I'm buying. And I figure out what I'm buying after I've bought it most of the time. Which isn't necessarily true. I buy based on vibes frequently. That's how I ended up with some nice vintage stuff, purely based on vibes. If I'm vibing with the pen, and I like how it feels in my hand, and the price is good, there's a good chance it's going to come home with me. But when it comes to buying vintage, Marina is probably your person, because she goes into it with much more of a plan than I do. I just really do what makes me feel happy. And if a pen was bringing me joy, this is going to be a pain. This is white tape. So here's the question. We normally don't do sketchy lines on the inside of something. Like, we don't sketch out the product. Does the seed tape count as a product? Do I sketch out the seed tape? Or do I leave the seed tape? I think Mike, who Mom bought her pennants from, is going to Chicago. And he's lovely. Like, if you want to sit down with somebody for an hour or two and get a real lesson in vintage, he is probably my top recommendation in the industry right now. Because he is such a wealth of knowledge. We are going to line the seed tape because it's white, and I feel like I'm going to lose it otherwise. This is also going to come up like that much. question. Do I want to do this? No, I really don't. So we're just going to end the tape there. Because I can. I would ask Mick about your vintage dip pen. He's sort of my go-to person right now for anything vintage. Or Paul Arano. But I don't know that Paul's going. I think Paul was at Philly. Was Paul at Philly? I don't know that Paul was at Philly. But Mick is always a good person to talk vintage to, because he often has things to test. Like, I think Mom tested almost a dozen things before she settled on her pen, which is currently sitting in my office. And I should probably find out why it's sitting in my office. I'm suspicious it's sitting in my office because something needs to happen to it. If something needs to happen to it, I have to text Mick, because I am not qualified to deal with that. Depending on the era, it's potentially celluloid. Like, I'm always both surprised and not how much like 1950s stuff is just straight up celluloid. Oh shit. This is supposed to be down and touching it. So we're gonna call that good. Sort of my thought process, if it's anything before like 1950, I'm always suspicious it's celluloid. After that, it still might be celluloid, but pre-1950, there's a fairly good chance it's celluloid. It's what I've run into with one of my vintage pens recently, is like trying to figure out what a pen is made of when the factory went bankrupt before the internet began. And so there's almost no information online about it. And I cannot find a matching pen on the internet. I can find references to the pen, but I can't actually find the pen. Is slowly driving me insane with a current pen project, but it'll come to a pen show with me at some point. One of the lovely vintage dealers will be able to put the pieces together and let me know what it actually is. Because right now, I have no idea. Let's grab everyone's favorite color. I don't actually know what color this is. Warm Gray 270. Also known as the neutral on every seed packet. Also, calling this a gray is a bit of a stretch, Faber-Castell. This is like not gray. parchment, but parchment isn't gray. I'm suspicious it's celluloid. But it's hard to tell without seeing it in person or photos of it. But if you take it to Chicago, somebody should be able to tell you. I think we're more red. Red. Yes, we are. I could have probably chosen a slightly cooler toned red. It's slightly too warm. Am I actually going to draw a maple leaf, or am I just going to like futz around and come up with something vaguely maple shaped? Do I have a red in here? I do. What color of red are you? Somehow I feel like you might be the better futz around and make a maple shaped pen. Nope, too dark. Cool. Actually, we're going to do our little hail underneath for the Ontario Organic. We're very proud. The Ontario Organic even has like half a Canadian flag on it. Okay, it could be worse. You know, we're at a great point in a project when all I can say is it could be worse. I don't know that there's anything good to say at this point in the project. Does this pen work? It does. This is my favorite type of lettuce. It's called salad bowl lettuce. It's a type of butter lettuce, but it just like, they get like this long. They grow up on stalks for whatever reason. I love them. And they come as seed tape, so you don't have to fight with tiny lettuce seeds. Because lettuce seeds are tiny and basically flat and are very, very easy to lose. I need the screen back. I shouldn't put the screen away. I think this is like my green for this project. So these aren't actually the smallest. The smallest seeds we plant or have planted in the past are carrots. The smallest seeds I think I've planted this year are wild blueberry seeds, and they're tiny. They're so tiny that I planted them out in old raspberry trays that I filled with soil, and will like up pot plants from that because it wasn't worth it to try and like get seeds into individual pots. I think the current smallest we plant right now, like regularly, is mouse melons or cucamelons. And the funny thing is, like, I keep seeing them come up in like people's like weird things I plant list, and I'm like, these are a staple crop for us. Like, honestly, I don't know what we do. Well, we just like we'd plant other cucumber-esque things, but there's something so nice about them because they're so small and they're so tart and they're so tasty. And they taste really good when you can them in hot pepper brine. We're gonna fix this somehow. I don't quite know how yet. I think by adding in some other greens. My idea, like I did up here, didn't work as well when it's all green. It's all the same color of green. Black. That isn't quite a black. I think you are my black. That isn't quite a black. You are dark indigo. Why are you all the way down in the blacks? So the one thing I really don't like about this game is how colors are organized. I take great issue with that. I feel like they're really not organized in a logical manner. But you know what? I'm sure somebody had their reasons. They are really tasty and they're quite prolific. We had 2 plants last year and we got a couple hundred. And they're tasty fresh, they're tasty canned and pickled. This is the marker I want. Let's grab pale gray and we'll do a whole bunch of little dots as my seeds. I'm gonna call that good. I don't love it, but we're gonna call it good. Sort of would like to go back over the word lettuce. Alright. Back up to West Coast seeds. Did I do any West Coast seeds this time? No, so I get to do my own thing when it comes to colors. So, other than the fact that the lettuce is... Oh, I do really like it. Which really bugs me. If I finish all of these... I don't know. It's already 10:30. It's already 9:30. I don't know that I'll finish 3 more. Even if I don't, I might do the ink splotches for another page so that it has time to dry overnight. Oh, I'm not done. I'm not done. Alright. There we go. Attention to detail, other than the fact that I'm ditching most of the French on these packages. Because, honestly, I don't have the patience right now to do these bilingual as well as doing them. I think I did last year's bilingual, but I'd have to find the book. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Cool. Where's a black marker? Also, thank you, West Coast Seeds, for continuing to be the most logical in breaking up your seed packets. Like, why be complicated when you can just use straight lines? I don't think we got anything from West Coast Seeds this year. We used to get them from PV Mart, but there are no PV Marts anymore, which is sad. I miss farm supplies. Actually, last year we got a whole lot of seeds of West Coast Seeds from PV Mart because all the PV Marts were closing, and West Coast seeds were really cheap at PV Marts that were going bankrupt. And so Mom and I bought a whole lot of seeds last year. All right, we need black. Actually, I think I've got one of these open. I do. That's rude. There's no reason for that. The funny thing is, the two that are left after this are by far like the most over the top. We have a purple spinach, and we've got a lettuce that's pink, red. I don't quite know what's going on with it. I don't know that we're gonna do the other two tonight. We might just finish this one and go do some ink splatters. Because honestly, I'm tired. It's been a long week. And I think this week ahead of me is also going to be very long. So I think we're going to have a lot more boiling off of maple syrup this week than we've had in the past couple days. So we did boil down 5 gallons of sap this week. It's supposed to be slightly warmer. So I think we will have more going on. It's our grove of maples. go back in with parchment, which isn't parchment, it's like warm gray. What? Warm gray number 1. 270. So known as the next color I'm going to have to replace, because I think I'm going to run this empty at some point. It's one of those colors that I never thought would be my most used color, and yet by far is, both in like this and other projects, because it's like that perfect parchment-y color. And so when you need something on a page, it's just the right color for it. Do I have a different green? What green's this? Nope, that's chromium opaque. That's the same green I have out already. I want something greener, if that makes sense. Permanent olive. Do I have permanent olive out? I don't. You're not the right green. But I don't hate you. So we're keeping you because I think I'm going to want you for the spinach. Which also has another one of those. Oh, it's covered. It's got another one of those little organic symbols. I didn't want to have to do another one of those. Oh, I didn't want to have to do another one of those. Alright, we're going in with the chromium green again, which is one of the most used greens I own. Spinache. I love spinach. And I basically stop eating it in the winter because it's so expensive. Greenhouse spinach is so expensive. And I get why. Like, I understand the logic behind why greenhouse spinach is so expensive. But I don't eat spinach in the winter because greenhouse spinach and hydroponic spinach are so expensive. Is it West Coast Seed or West Coast Seeds? It's Z. I love this. It makes me so happy. It's so stupid and it makes me so happy. We're also talking about ordering more fruit trees. They have a cherry plum cross that apparently Trader Joe's sells the fruit of in the States on occasion. But I've never seen in the stores here. But 2 of our favorite orchards have the trees this year. And seeing as it's still cold, we haven't put in bare root trees yet. We haven't picked up our orders yet. And so we could, add to our orders and pick up more trees. And so I'm heavily debating ordering this cherry plum cross. Because I think they'd be really tasty. I don't know what they're called in the States, but you can apparently buy them in grocery stores in the States. Actually, let me Google. They're called Very Cherry Plums in the grocery store. Very with 2 R's, or Sweet Treat Plurry. Plurry. And they grow in zones 2 to 9. Like they grow, you can pretty much grow them anywhere. And they start producing fruit way earlier than other fruit trees. But do I need 2 more fruit trees? Because you have to have 2. You have to have 1 to cross-pollinate of a different variety. The answer is no. I don't need 2 more fruit trees. Do I want 2 more fruit trees that are basically bushes? Yes. It's, not like I already have a couple hundred seedlings to take care of on my office floor or anything. I am already drowning in plants. But at least the upstairs plants are doing better than I expected. We haven't had a whole lot of sun since we got them. And I'm always worried, like, when you buy things from a greenhouse and they've been in sun, they're going to, like, die. And we've had that happen in the past. And this year, so far, stuff seems to be fine. Got, like, 10 plants from a garden nursery upstairs, as well as a couple hundred seedlings on the floor of my office. Yes. Nothing says Canadian and space to garden like an office full of plants. I don't know that I could keep a bonsai alive. I'm struggling to keep a jade tree that's... I actually don't know how old it is. It's at least 65 years old alive. But like tomatoes, no problem. I think we had like a couple 100 pounds of tomatoes out of the garden last year. And like it sort of gets to a point that you're like, well, is my effort worth the amount we're getting out in produce? And especially now that we grow so many different types of hot peppers and stuff, we're definitely breaking, we're more than breaking even on like the cost to effort to everything else. But it does take a while to get there. You spend a lot of time going, I'm spending a lot of time on stuff that isn't really doing much of anything. And that's the stage we're at right now. Like, it's still cold and snowy and icy outside. Nothing can go outside for months. And I have onions and shallots and peppers and eggplants and tomatoes and cucumbers and all this stuff that I am trying to keep alive, knowing that in a couple months I will be really grateful I kept it alive because it is feeding us from the garden. But at the moment, I'm in the struggling to keep it alive part. And so I am very grateful for things like commercial potting soil, because I could not grow what I do without commercial potting soil. I know there are people that create their own soil mixes, but over the years I have found that the best luck I have is with commercial stuff. And I'm also very thankful that we have a whole bunch of south-facing windows, and I can sort of just dump plants and pots in south-facing windows, and for the most part, they get enough sun. We sort of exist on like the either you get enough sun and you survive or you don't philosophy. We do have a grow light, but it's sort of more of a pain to use than it's worth, and so I don't. If I had anything under it this year, actually, I've had the one. Mom and I have a bad habit of like adopting strays at garden centers, or like the plant that you look at it and you think there's no way this thing is going to live, or the plant that's like missing a tag and nobody quite knows what it is because it's missing a tag and it has nothing on it and it looks like it's half dead. We have a really bad habit of adopting those sort of plants. This plant we adopted, though, did have a tag on it. We knew what it was, and it was very much on sale, I think, because they didn't think it was going to survive either. Uh, and it has survived. We stuck it under the grow light for like a week, 24 hours a day. It had the grow light. And then it popped back upstairs with its friends, and it's doing perfectly well. It's got leaves. I think it's growing a new branch. I wish I was as robust as, an orphaned plant from a garden center. I think life would be a little bit better if I was that bounce backable to be like sticks with nothing on me. And the only way to identify what I am is because I have a tag on me and like everything is dead. I look like I am completely dead, and then like suddenly I'm an alive plant. And that is the story of our goji berry, which is currently in the living room with a whole bunch of other stuff because we are probably planting too many trees this year. But it's fun, and why not? Really, the most I have to do for like the next 3 years is just prune stuff. They won't become problematic for like another decade at least. I think I drew this packet out last year. Do I have my book from last year? I do. There's my book from last year, which is not attached to the Travelers, of course, because it's not in the Travelers. If I was a page, where would I find me? Did I not? Not for sure I did a seed packet thing last year. Was that not in my Travelers? Was it in some random other thing that I can't think of? Oh no, it was. No, it was the West Coast Seeds peppers. Okay, so I've been judging these and thinking they're maybe not that great. I sort of have been like, well, they don't seem that great. And now I'm looking at last year's and I'm like, actually, like the level of detail last year versus this year. Like they're not perfect. They're not really what I want. But the level of detail last year versus this year. Oh. Oh, that's hysterical. Like last year's page, this year's page. Oh my god. There is no comparison. I have moments that I go, I don't feel like my art skills have changed all that much in a year. I don't spend all that much time sketching anymore. And then I get to look at something like this and I get to go, actually, you know what? We have made some progress. It's still not great. I'm still not, the queen of sketching. It's still not where I want it to be, but it's significantly improved from where we were. Just like the level of detail in these versus this. That's crazy. That's amazing. Now I want to go back and redo I want to go back and redo something like this year, because this I did in 2024, or I guess I did this in like late 2024, early 2025, which was a photo taken in the 2024 gardening season. That's crazy. Because I'm looking at these and going, like, there isn't a huge difference. They look worse than what I was doing a week and a half ago. And yet, comparing them to what I was doing a year ago, like look at this one. Like, yes, it's a very plain seed packet. The OSC seed packets are very plain, but still. I now want to put an OSC seed packet. I don't know that we're growing anything OSC this year, and I want to put an OSC seed packet in just to see what I can do this year with one. And the thing is, this is what I can do after a week where I blew 3 pupils and spent 90% of the week being unable to hold a pen. Like, I am comparing this to a section of time when I had not blown a pupil and had no issues holding a pen. I haven't been able to hold a pen since a week ago Sunday until this morning without my hand shaking. Like, holy shit. Oh, a reminder to be less harsh on yourself because you are your own biggest critic. And sometimes it's not as bad as you think it is. see. All right. Honestly, don't know that I have doing these last two in me. I probably do, but I don't know if I could do them without giving myself a headache. So what we're going to do instead is we are going to go to whatever our next color is, which I believe is... Oh, I've got markers to put away. Markers to put away. Let's put away our markers. Permanent olive green. Nope. We'll go in here. Let's put all these away. And we're gonna do splotches for the next page. I'm gonna plan it out a little bit more though, because it's a 3. And I think they're all vertical. I may be wrong though. I just need this desk a little bit tidier. Which probably feels like a stretch right now. But just pop that in there for now. Alright. The next one is Lost in the Leaves. And for that one, we are doing these onions and shallots. Which is, it's okay. It's the first time we've grown onions and shallots. And I am so excited. Because A, I love onions and shallots. And B, right now they just look like really fuzzy grass. We grew leeks last year. We're going to do leeks again this year, I think. But we buy our leeks as like little seedlings. Because I have awful luck starting leeks. I've never successfully started leeks. They always fail in one way or another. So we're going to... I think though we're going to do this side heavy into this side being light. That is my thought. Because I'd like to do this yeah. So I want to do this heavy into this being light. Cool. Which has us Lost in the Leaves, which is here. Oh, you've lost your sticker somewhere in your box. Well, I will find it later. The funny thing is, I almost never use green ink. And I'm using so many green inks that I can't remember the last time I used them for before this project right now, because they're the right green for this project. I have some friends that have like magnetic stirring tables for their shimmer ink. And normally I'm not jealous of those. Like, I don't really see the point. I use shimmer inks, but I don't like use them in bottles on my desk all that often where I'm dipping. I think this is a time though that I'm going to wish I had one of them, because I think this is going to be a little bit of like a put some ink down, shake the bottle a couple times, put some ink down, shake the bottle a couple times. Or I might be wrong. Nope. Look at that. We have already started to settle out. There is something really magical about shimmer ink in a project like this. And I think it's because like you don't expect it to be sparkly. And so the sparkle adds to the mystique. actually know what color this is. I thought it was Lost in the Leaves. It seems to. This is also a lot easier with a slightly larger Ziploc. I sort of like that. I want to go a little bit heavier up there, I think. But I like how it sort of peters off at the end. This is also going to take forever to dry. I'm going to call that good, I think. We can always go back in later, in a couple days, or whenever I come back to this, and add in, I've got a whole pile of pipettes to clean, and add in some other stuff. I am worried though that I've got too much ink and we're gonna have some bleed. Nope! Look at that. Nothing. MD for the win, honestly. I love MD. Well, thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what weird things you're growing this year. Honestly, we're growing something this year called strawberry spinach. That should have been on the last page. I guess I could switch out one of these cut leaf packages. I haven't done it yet, have I? Where's the packet for it? Where'd the packet go? There it is. It's this really weird thing that is a type of spinach but grows berries? I feel like the packet is too boring. The packet isn't as fun as these two. So these two are gonna win. We might do a page though of like random stuff. So strawberry, spinach, lemon, cucumbers, cucamelons. For now though, I'm gonna let this dry. I'm probably gonna come back tomorrow and do the other page. And I think we've got maple syrup to boil down probably. It sounds like it's warmed up outside. The wind's really picked up, which leads me to believe it's warmed up. So thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed. And tomorrow we talk about vintage pens. That's tomorrow morning's video. Vintage pens. It should be good. It was a fun video to film. So I hope you enjoy. Have a good evening, everyone.